Hey, Tumors, MindCancer here, back for another podcast, and sorry for being gone for so long. We're all high school students, and I'm still working, so we don't really have that much time to record or get together and record. So it's been a little bit since our last episode. Today is me, Makola, and Christian,
So,
and we'll hopefully have Taylor on the next one, but we don't know. And thank you all so much for sticking with us. Thank you for the reception in the past couple videos. We never expected them to do as well as they did. But tonight we're going to talk about some mysteries and true crime that occurred on Halloween. We have 10 cases to go through, so without further ado, I'll pass it over to Christian.
alright. David Stone goes in search of the beast. David Stone was a man who appeared to have it all. He was a successful stock market analyst making good money in a stable career. He was big into the New Age movement, a popular subculture in the 1980s, and by all accounts, he was a sane man with a sharp, analytical mind. However, a few days before Halloween of 1988, he left his home when a heated argument when a party guest turned violent. Something that those close to Stone say was completely out of character. David Stone was seen intermittently sitting on his vehicle on Highway 80, and apparently set off on foot into the desert. He was spotted by witnesses several times that day, including a farmer who found him wandering around on his property, noting that he was dressed inappropriately for the cold weather, while muttering something about being in search of the beast before vanishing for good. His car was found on November 5th off the same highway parked near some pyramid-shaped mountains. Searchers headed north from the location of the car and found two pyramids fashioned out of rocks and surrounded by a triangle with David's Rolex watch laying next to one of them. 3 miles further north, they found a Fibonacci sequence, a number pattern used in stock analysis etched into the soil, this one ending in 18 rather than the standard 21. Bloodhounds were able to track David's scent along Highway 80, 13 miles north from where his car was abandoned, but the trail went cold. His family found a most peculiar note inside his vehicle that read, "They think the word is in the safe. 6 knives in Rob's room. Use buys your tea and use take your chances Halloween." Two hikers found David Stone's remains in the desert in 1992, 4 years after he went missing. Despite having no idea what caused his erratic behavior or how or why he died, there was no sign of any foul play.
Jesus Christ, alright.
I
That,
have no idea what a lot of this stuff has anything to do with anything. It's just cryptic as
no.
all hell.
Yeah, and then, like, can't connect to anything like the missing 411 we're talking about because they found him not that long later in the trail he would be going, and like the dogs were able to pick up a scent for a little bit at least.
Mm-hmm.
But
I don't understand what this stuff means with all the things that they found. He's looking for a beast of some kind, but it's
yeah,
just a cryptic letter and cryptic
I,
clues.
I don't
Pyramids
like.
of rocks with a
I was
triangle
gonna
in his
say
Rolex.
yeah, I was gonna say Skinwalker, but that I don't think that would have that much power over a person's psyche.
The Skinwalker made him
Like,
make the Fibonacci sequence, I guess.
I don't
I
know.
don't know.
That's something we'll hopefully cover at a later date is the Skinwalker Ranch. But give us any suggestions you want us to do in the comments. But I don't, dude. Also, like, fuck being a hiker or a hunter, because they're always the ones that find the bodies.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, a hiker found it here, or hunter found it in the woods here. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, never mind. I guess looking back, it was 4 years after he went missing.
Yeah.
That is a long fucking time.
I
And it
think
says
this
in
one
the
is somewhat like it's different than the other missing 411 cases though. I don't think we can
yeah,
really put it in with that because it
no,
wasn't
because
in a national park.
no,
It
and
was just
also
somewhere else.
those people are all said to be like completely knowing what they're doing. They're all fine, and then they're just gone.
Yeah, nobody knew what this guy was doing. They just saw him
No,
saying
but
he
yeah,
was in
he
search of a beast.
seemed yeah, he didn't seem right in the head, and then also his weird cryptic riddle.
Yeah. I have no clue what the hell that means, but
I want to look up if the desert was like a flat plain of sand, or if it had like trees and yuccas and like Joshua trees and stuff in it.
I don't know.
So like there could have been something obstructing someone's view, but
I don't know.
I don't understand how you don't see him for 4 years.
No clue.
Alright. I'll take this next one. The death of Chelsea Bruck. When Chelsea Bruck left her home on October 26th, 2014 to head out to a Halloween party in Michigan, she had no idea she'd never return. Dressed as the villainous Poison Ivy from the Batman comics, the 22-year-old Maybe resident appeared to be having a good time, with the exception of a facial wound she suffered after drunkenly stumbling into a post. The party was attended by hundreds of people, and several witnesses gave a description of a man Chelsea was reportedly last seen with, but police have been unable to identify him since. The first big break in the case came when pieces of her Halloween costume were found in an abandoned industrial area in Flat Rock, Michigan. Months later, in fact nearly 6 to the day from when she disappeared, approximately 10 miles away, all hope that Chelsea Bruck would be found alive lost when her skeletal remains were discovered in a rural, wooded area. Authorities continue to follow up on leads and tips, and the case remains open, but are at a loss for what could have potentially happened to Chelsea.
Okay, this one, it's weird because it's just like they just find like pieces of the Halloween costume, and then months later they just find the skeleton, and there's no.
You would think you would.
There's nothing leading to a suspect or anything really.
No, besides somebody saying she was last seen with a dude, but not really much of a description.
There was a description, but it wasn't good enough for people to be able to identify who it was.
Yeah.
So this just seems like some sort of killer. Just I don't know. That just never got caught.
I would say it's hard to take someone from like an open like big party, but then it's like it's also just easier to blend in because there's so many people.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Alright, I'll go with the next one. Pocahontas goes missing. It was a Halloween night like any other when 40-year-old Argyle, Minnesota resident Veronica Safrinsky attended a costume party at Mick's Bar in the nearby town of Warren. The year was 1996, and Safrinsky separated from her husband at the time and was decked out in a Pocahontas costume. Shortly after midnight, her friend at the party was unable to locate her inside the establishment, and witnesses later reported that she was seen leaving with a man named Kevin Skirvin, a sex offender with multiple charges. The couple reportedly left in a new model Dodge Power Wagon truck with Oregon plates. Safransky was never seen or heard from again. She was reported missing later that day, and weeks later a belt believed to be part of her costume was found alongside a country road in the area, but an extensive search yielded no further clues of any kind. Skirvin admits to leaving the party with Veronica, but claims to have no knowledge of what happened to her afterwards. No charges have ever been filed against him, and her case remains unsolved. Even as the months turned to years, Safrinsky's parents continued to search the remote areas or Marshall County, hoping to find some answers as to what happened to their daughter. At the start of each hunting season, the sheriff asked local hunters to be on the lookout when traversing the rural lands. In regards to finding closure for her family, Sheriff Herb Mostert said, "You look into their eyes and you see the agony. You don't know how they feel. There's always that glimmer of hope that we'll find her."
Jesus.
Man, a Minnesota case.
Yeah, I don't like it when it's in your own state.
Yeah?
Like, it's nice to just hear about them over on the coast. And I guess like Midwest we had Dahmer and Gein, so that's fun.
Yeah. But this one, I mean, she left with a sex offender. So that was like immediately a red flag for like the police, I would think, that she goes missing after leaving with a sex offender.
She's in Minnesota and the car had Oregon plates.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying that's initially like
and like even the sex offender admits to leaving to the party with her.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like he is probably guilty if there was more evidence to it. But there's just not enough
Yeah.
evidence of anything there.
There's nothing to string together through it, or like pin on him unless the body's found.
Which it hasn't.
No, and it probably won't. It's been 24 years.
Yeah.
I don't know, just it's horrible, and there's like, living parents that are still looking for him.
Yeah.
If you guys have any theories about any of these, leave them in the comments, and we'll be making sure to read them. But this next case is Christy Lan Varak. Where did she go? Christy Varak was just 13 years old when she had been seen for the last time on Halloween night in 1982. The teen had been living with a foster family in Tacoma, Washington at the time, and had been known to frequent the streets of the city and the surrounding areas. Although she had no history as a runaway, nor was she known to engage in any unsavory behavior such as prostitution. There was an unconfirmed report that Vorak was spotted later that night at a bus depot in Seattle, and her mother believes that she may be alive and well, but authorities are of the unfortunate opinion that she is deceased. In May 1993, Christie's name was added to a list of probable victims of the notorious Green River Killer, due to the Pacific Northwest location, where many women were murdered between 1982 and 1984. The killer, later identified as Gary Ridgway, was convicted of 48 separate murders and later confessed to double that number. Vorak is one of the 7 women suspected to be among the unconfirmed victims of one of the most prolific serial killers in history, but the scary part is that nobody knows for sure.
Okay, this one is fucked up.
Yeah.
The last place they see her is at a bus depot, and that's it.
Yeah, I mean, it's really easy to just be
it is
swooped up.
Probable that that is the time period of the Green River Killer. That's probable that that could be what happened.
Yeah. I'm like, fuck, I think people have to remind me from remembering wrong, but I think this was the killer Ted Bundy helped with, or like helped catch.
I think so.
Because the fucking authorities had nothing on him, and so I think Bundy just said, hey, leave the next body where you find it, and just stake it out for a couple nights.
Yeah.
Because he's bound to return.
Yeah, because then he came back for the body,
Yeah.
We should go more in depth on the Green River Killer.
That, but also just like maybe an episode for like the psyche of killers, or like attitudes or things they do.
Yeah.
Like in childhood. Like there's the obvious like harming of small animals and all that.
Yeah.
But, like, I don't know, you can almost, it seems like you can tell from a younger age, like when they're big shutouts or like just don't really bond affectionate relationships too well.
Yeah, or if they like, start doing fucked up shit, that's also
a
major
very
part
big
of
indicator.
It. Yeah.
Alright, this one's just so fucked because I understand it's like decades ago, and so people felt way more like safe and everything.
Yeah, just going around.
Fuck, I wouldn't let my kid out alone in Washington.
In Seattle.
When they're 13. Yeah. Fuck. Like maybe when they're older, you know what they're doing, they have a car or something.
Yeah.
Like, oh, fuck.
But yeah, she was 13, and that's fucking... No.
Horrible, yeah.
Alright, I'll go to the next one. Don't touch my candy. For Halloween in 2011, 55-year-old Liddell Peoples was enjoying his Halloween candy when he realized some was missing. He blamed his 49-year-old girlfriend, Maria Adams, and an argument ensued. She allegedly threw a plate at Peoples' head, creating a gash above his eye. Then Peoples allegedly grabbed a knife and stabbed her to death. His defense was that his candy had been taken.
Holy fuck, it's a short case, but it's fucking wild. Dude, that reminds me of the fucking the two guys that got high as fucking watched Walking Dead. And then when they were done, one killed the other
Oh,
because he thought
yeah.
he was in the fucking show.
This is
We need to
just,
do like pop culture killings like
yeah.
that, or like the Slenderman thing.
Oh, the
She didn't
Slender
die,
Man.
but
This one is just
No, it's
stupid, man. It's
like, dude, you're not like 12.
he's
You're a
55, man.
fucking. You're a
He can go to the store and buy
55-year-old
more
dude.
candy. You don't have to kill her. And the way the story went, she didn't die immediately, but like she was being charged with
Dude.
manslaughter or attempted manslaughter, and then she died, and then it was
I'm
murder.
not trying to make a joke at anybody's death, but like he took Nobody Lays a Finger on My Butterfinger to another fucking level.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
love
just
that. I love
imagine-
his defense though. Like in court, what's your defense?
She stole my
She
candy.
took my damn candy.
Dude, I imagine this man just eats with like a knife by his side. Like he'll just be eating a bag of fucking like Doritos, and there'll just be a knife by his side. So if anybody takes any, he just shanks
Yo,
them.
man, can I have a Dorito?
Yeah.
Even if you ask him, he'll just stab you. Yeah, that one's fucking nuts.
Dude. He was the one kid in school who he got asked for his jerky one too many times.
No.
Oh shit! Can I have a piece?
He
Fuck off!
he was the kid that wouldn't share his Halloween candy with his like siblings or anything, man. He would lock himself in his room and hide it or something. I don't know, man. This one's just stupid.
Or if they tried to come on him, he just grabbed a knife. Don't fucking do it. Don't do
This
it.
one's just stupid, man.
Alright. I'll take the next one. Number 6, Killer Preacher. John D. White had served 2 separate prison terms for stabbing one woman and murdering another, but by 2012, he was a pastor at a small church in Michigan. He became romantically involved with a female neighbor, and on Halloween night that year, while she was getting her 3-year-old grandson dressed up, White strangled her to death. He dumped her body in the woods, then returned to finish dressing the grandson. White was arrested for murder, but couldn't remember if he'd had sex with the woman's corpse while he committed suicide. White committed suicide in his prison cell. So, I've heard of this one. So, after he finished dressing up the kid, he then just took him and dropped him off at his dad's house.
Yeah, he just brought him to his dad's.
Like, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah, and then
And
they
then, like-
found out when the woman didn't show up for work. Yeah.
Okay, I can get by, like, oh, someone had some, like, felony drug charges, they've served their term. Okay, sure, maybe they can get back, but, like,
Yeah, but he stabbed someone and
two-
killed someone else.
a 2-time killer, no, you don't get the ability to gain that spot. That's... Holy fuck, dude. Like, how do you get to tell people the word of God when you've committed, like, the most heinous thing possible?
Yeah.
Fucking hell, dude.
And then he committed suicide in his prison cell after all that too.
Yeah, that's one of the fuckers that need to just rot.
Yeah.
Like, I'm usually for the death penalty for people like Bundy and shit,
Yeah.
but this motherfucker needed to rot. Mainly because Bundy escaped like 5 fucking times.
Yeah.
So, just cap him. That's another thing. Fuck, like, this injection, that's a fuck ton of money. Takes a long time.
Do you want to
know what's not a
reform
fuck ton
the
of money?
death penalty?
Just a fucking gun and a bullet. It's quick. It's hopefully painless.
I mean, yeah, but
It's less painless than the fucking injection. That shit's like drinking rat poison.
why don't we just bring back like medieval torture methods? How about that?
We fucking strap them up and then just slowly lower them onto a sharp triangle until they split in half. That's cool.
Dude, we could just go full medieval with our death penalty. That'd be. Alright.
Put your head on the block. Put your head on the block. Come on.
They'll do the thing where they grow the fucking bamboo shoot through you.
Oh, fuck. I don't think that was medieval. That was like Nom, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, but like,
Or
it's a torture method.
myth from Nom. I don't know if it actually happened. Probably did. But, all right.
Alright. The Halloween from Hell. 16-year-old Devin Griffin came home from Halloween in 2010 to a tragic surprise. His stepfather was in bed with his body covered in blood, having been shot 5 times. Police found 2 more members of Griffin's family had been killed. His older brother had been bludgeoned with a hammer, and his mother had been raped and shot. The killer was Griffin's stepbrother, William B.J. Lisk. He pleaded guilty and killed himself while in prison in 2015.
Jesus Christ.
So this is just like a full-ass case of like a family member killing the whole family, yeah.
Yeah, it's another Amityville type.
Yeah. However, Amityville is weirder, I think. Way fucking
Wasn't there a
weirder.
thing going around that like Amityville didn't happen or something?
I think
I
that's...
don't fucking know.
I haven't heard that, but if that's true, that's just... Man... I'm pretty sure it fucking happened.
No, but...
Dude, imagine coming home and just... Boom. Your family's dead.
Yeah, just... Oh, you're the last one now. Have fun.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit. I'm like... I'm not gonna try and spin it as a good thing, but like... At least he was like 16, so if he had to, he could... Like... Try and like be on his own. So like, if he was like 7 or something, fuck, dude.
Yeah.
Or like the 3-year-old from the last one. That shit's just, or 2 ago or whatever it was. But that's fucking wild. I don't know. That's something I want to get into is like the psyche of a killer. How the fuck you're pushed to that.
Yeah. Well, for some people, it's just they're just fucked in the head, and they just want the thrill of killing someone, and that's what drives them to do it.
Or like another case we'll get into in a little bit here. They just want press. They just want their names in papers.
Yeah.
All right. This next one, everyone needs to just quit throwing eggs. Egg throwing is a Halloween tradition, a terrible tradition, but a tradition nonetheless. It's also considered a crime of vandalism. But it also ends in a often violence. And the most famous incident was the death of Carl Jackson on Halloween in 1998. The 21-year-old Jackson was driving his girlfriend and her young son home from a children's party in the Bronx. They were going to drop the child off with a babysitter and then head to another party. But on the way, an egg hit their car. Jackson got out and confronted the group of young men responsible. After words were exchanged, Jackson drove away, but one of the egg throwers was pissed off and followed them. When Jackson stopped a few blocks later, the youth shot him in the temple. Jackson was pronounced dead at the hospital a short time later. Fortunately, the killer was caught and convicted. The New York Times article says that, as of 2010, he was still behind bars. And that was every year he gets a special Halloween card from Jackson's mother, always with the same message. I'm glad you're still here. Or I'm glad you're still there, sorry. But this was far from the only egg-related killing in New York City alone. People also died as a result of the prank in 1984, 7, 9, 94, and 95. Well, 1993 and 96 saw non-fatal shootings. Jesus fuck, dude. Alright, so...
Dude, it's fucked up, man. It's like... You get confronted for throwing an egg at somebody's car, and then you follow him and shoot him? Because
you're in the wrong. What the fuck? Like, one, don't do it, because again, it's vandalism. It's a crime. And yeah, damn, people are pissed because I threw a fucking egg at their car that could have possibly caused damage. Damn, wonder why.
And then he just follows him and then fucking shoots him.
Yeah.
Presumably
like,
still... Was it still in the car with his girlfriend and the son? I think so.
I don't know.
That would make more sense, I would think. I don't know.
Yeah.
But... Yeah. And then... I feel like it's an alright ending because his mom, because the mother just keeps sending the same message. I'm glad you're still there.
That's fucking like, yeah, you're not committing suicide, bitch boy. You're living out this term. You're gonna suffer.
Yeah. And then there's
again, like we
so
listed at
many
the end.
more
Yeah,
egg-related
just don't
killings.
fucking do it. You, you know how to completely 100% not get shot because you threw eggs? Don't throw eggs.
Yeah.
This seems like such an outlier too, because you feel like, oh, there's an egg throwing that leads to a killing in this episode. Oh, the egg thrower gets shot, right? No.
No.
What the fuck?
That would make, like, a little more sense, but, like,
Yeah.
still not much sense because you get so angry over somebody throwing an egg at you. I mean, if it damages something, you'd be really pissed off, but, like, I wouldn't go to the point of killing them.
No, just like call the police,
Yeah.
file the damages,
Yeah.
have them pay their insurance or whatever. But, like, what the fuck, dude?
Alright, I'll take the next one.
Take this next one?
Even the Kennedys' cousins have issues. On Halloween 1975, 15-year-old Martha Moxley's body was found in her family's yard. She had probably been killed late the night before, beaten to death with such force that the golf club used had shattered into 3 pieces. The police called the frenzied attack overkill, which usually indicates the victim knew their attacker, and there was a personal anger involved. But despite evidence almost immediately pointing to Michael and Timothy Skakel, seriously disturbed brothers who were neighbors and friends of Martha, cops decided it must have been a random attack from a hitchhiker because they didn't want to believe the teens did it because they were nephews of Bobby Kennedy and were insanely rich. When finally interviewed by a private investigator years later, both brothers said their DNA might have been at the scene because it just so happened that they each pleasured themselves separately at this exact tree Martha was found under on the night she died. Eventually, police reopened the case and evidence implicating Michael specifically started piling up. He was finally put on trial and convicted in 2002, but then the appeal started. In 2013, Michael was released on bail, based mostly on the argument his lawyer had been glaringly ineffective. He was still out in 2018. Meanwhile, the Kennedys have closed ranks around him. In 2016, Michael's cousin Robert Kennedy Jr. even wrote a book claiming that the real murderers were 2 black teenagers from the Bronx who killed Martha caveman style.
Jesus fuck, alright.
Okay.
God, I hate cops in the 70s.
Yeah.
Because there's oh, you're white? You probably didn't do it.
You're white
It was-
and
it
you're
was probably
rich.
Black people.
You're white and you're rich,
Mhm.
you did not do it. But, like,
Especially related to the Kennedys?
yeah, they got away with it just because they were rich and related to the Kennedys.
Mhm.
And then, like, why would they give up the evidence if they wanted to, like, get away with it or whatever that they might have
Yeah.
been there?
No.
And
Their first questioning, they said they had nothing to do with it. They were never there.
yeah,
And then once the evidence started piling up, they were like, oh, okay, we beat it in a tree while we were watching her undress. And it's like,
okay, sure. And then, like,
yes, because that helps your case.
yeah, we were there when she died, almost. But, like, what the fuck? And then, man, the fucking Robert Kennedy Jr. writing a book
Mm-hmm.
saying that 2 black teenagers from the Bronx did it. And
Sometimes when it's rich fucks like this, I don't even know if it was like a I want to kill, I have a bloodthirst, or if it's just like a,
I can do this. I can get away with it.
I can do it,
whatever.
so I'm gonna. It's like the fucking Epstein thing.
Yeah.
It's like, because if anybody said, oh, there's this rich island where people take children to sexually, yeah, people would consider it like a conspiracy theory. If you tried to do that, like, oh, the rich are doing this because they can. No.
Yeah, it's
And then just immediately trying to fucking throw the blame into 2 random people.
yeah.
This is just fucking wild.
Mhm.
And then our last case for today. The toolbox killers were unbelievably sick. One of the problems with prison is you have a lot of time to sit around and think. And since there are many twisted up people behind bars, the stuff they think about is often messed up. Lawrence Bittaker and Ray Norris were both career criminals when they met in jail in 1978. By the time they were released a year later, they had come up with a sick plan. Working together, they would kidnap, torture, and kill several teenage girls. They converted a van into a mobile murder machine and began driving around and looking for victims. Within 2 months, they killed 5 girls, and the last died on Halloween 1979. Her name was Lynette Ledford, and she was 16 years old. After her kidnap, she was tortured and mutilated before being strangled. The sadistic killers recorded her cries and pleas for mercy, clearly enjoying it. When she was finally dead, they dumped her on a suburban lawn to see how the media would react. Norris couldn't help bragging about the killing spree, and one person he told went to the cops. Both men were arrested. Norris cooperated with the police and claimed it was Bittaker who did all the killing. At their trial, the tape they made of Ledford begging for her life was played to the jury. Bittaker got the death penalty, but for squealing on his accomplice Norris, he only got But for squealing on his accomplice, Norris only got 45 years. He's up for parole in 2019.
Man, toolbox killers.
Yeah. During this, they smashed her elbow in 25 times with a hammer.
Yeah, they're fucking...
And I think, like, if anybody wants to ruin their day, you can go read the transcript of these recordings. I'm not recommending it, ever. Because, like, brutal, but they, like, warning, I'm about to talk about, like, mutilation. I think it was Bittaker, like, I think ripped one of her nipples off with a pliers, put pliers inside her vagina and, like, ripped the lining.
Jesus fucking
used
Christ,
pliers
man.
to rip her labia, and then I think sodomized her with pliers, and then, like, destroyed tissue inside. And, like, yeah.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
And then her final words were, "Do it, just kill me."
Yeah.
Holy fuck, dude.
And then, like,
And I think
they were
during
just...
the court case, people who heard this, like, just straight left.
Yeah.
They couldn't bear it.
I mean, I fucking would probably, yeah.
Yeah, same. I wouldn't want to be around that and hear that shit. Because, like, it's not like some movie or a reenactment or something. No, that's a girl begging for her life when the two fuckers doing all this knew for a fact they weren't gonna let her live, but just kept making her think she would.
Mm-hmm. And the fact they were basically just doing it all for publicity, because they just...
And then, yeah. Another thing to clown on these fucking absolute losers about is that van they used, they called the Murder Mac.
It sounds like a Halloween item at fucking McDonald's, dude.
Yeah. Oh, it's the Murder Mac. Where, it's their third deal. It's with Adam Sandler, but he only gets to do the Dracula voice.
Yeah.
Get the Adam Sandler Murder Mac.
Well, it's a good thing Bittaker, he got the death penalty, and then Norris, but he only got 45 years for it.
That's,
and it was
bullshit.
Fucking 79 they got convicted of it.
Yeah, 6 murders, too.
Yeah.
So.
And this was the last one on Halloween. That's fucking... Yeah.
Horrible, yeah.
Alright, outro.
But that's all we have for today, guys. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe and turn on notifications so you are notified when we release a new video, because we'll try and do as much as we can, but we're probably not going to be on too much of a schedule. And we really appreciate the support you guys have been giving us on the previous couple casts. We've really been enjoying making them, and we're glad you guys have been enjoying listening to them. And yeah, like we said, we probably won't be uploading as frequently as we want to, just because work and school and everyone's trying to balance it among the crazy times we're already in. So, you have anything to say before we head out?
Not really, but thank you guys for watching. We'll see you later, Tumors. Happy Halloween.